Welcome back to the English Chatcast, everyone. In our Blueprint for Effortless English course, we have already covered the mental shift in Episode 1 and the power of phrasal blocks in Episode 2, but today we are taking the blueprint out of your headphones and into your actual house. This is Module 1, Episode 3, and we are talking about the labeling method.
Before we begin, we'd like to ask our listeners for a small favor. If you enjoy our Chatcast and find it helpful, please click the like button for this episode and subscribe to the English Chatcast channel.
Good point, Anna. Liking our episodes and subscribing to our channel ensures that we can continue to offer valuable content in the future.
I have been looking forward to this episode because it solves the biggest problem our listeners have. They feel great when they are listening to us, and they feel like they understand everything, and they feel like they are making real progress. But the moment they turn off the podcast and walk into their kitchen to make a sandwich, English just disappears. Their brain switches back to their native language instantly.
It is a universal experience. It's like they have a study mode switch in their brain. When the podcast is on or the textbook is open, they're in English mode. The moment the environment changes, they are back to reality. Today, we're going to break that switch. We're going to show you how to turn your entire home into a 24/7 fluency lab without ever opening a textbook or paying for an expensive immersion course.
Now, when people hear the word labeling, they usually think of those little yellow sticky notes. They imagine a house covered in paper. They imagine putting a note on a door that says door, or a note on a window that says window. Ben, tell them why that is a total waste of time for someone at this level.
It really is a waste of time. If you are at this stage of the blueprint, you already know the word for door. You have known that since your first week of English class. Labeling objects with nouns is for toddlers. It does not help you speak effortlessly because you never walk into a room and just say the word door. It does not help you communicate a thought. It just helps you identify an object.
Exactly. The reason we forget English words when we actually need them in real life is that they are homeless. They live in a vocabulary list or a digital flashcard app. They have no physical weight. But your coffee machine has a home. You know how it smells, and you know the specific clicking sound it makes when it starts, and you know how the warm handle feels in your hand. Your brain has a deep physical sensory memory for that machine.
The labeling method is about sticking English sounds directly onto those physical memories so that the object itself triggers the English thought. But the secret of the blueprint is that we are not labeling the object, we are labeling the action.
This is the massive game changer. Instead of labeling your refrigerator fridge, I want you to imagine a label that says, grab a snack, or checking for food. Think about how many times a day you open that door just to see what is inside.
I do it at least 10 times a day. If I had a label there, I would be practicing that phrase constantly. See the difference? Fridge is just a noun. It's static and boring. But grab a snack is a phrasal block. It's a piece of real, living English that you would actually say to a friend or a spouse. When you see that label, you are practicing a full, natural thought every time you are hungry.
Let's talk about the bathroom mirror. Do not label it mirror. Think of the phrase, fixing my hair, or even better, looking good today. Every time you look in that mirror to brush your hair or check your teeth, that English phrase should pop into your head. You're building a literal bridge between your physical movement and the English sound. You are bypassing the translation center of your brain entirely.
If you do this for just 5 objects in your house, you are forcing your brain to think in English 5 times a day. You are not studying. You are just living your life, but you are doing it with an English soundtrack that you have created for yourself. It is about creating a habitat where English is the only language that makes sense for those specific actions.
I know what some people are thinking right now. They are thinking, Ben and Anna, I do not want my house covered in sticky notes. My family will think I have lost my mind, or my roommates will complain about the mess.
I hear that all the time. My own wife would probably move out if I labeled every single thing in our kitchen. If you want to keep your blueprint invisible, you can use the mental labeling technique. I used this when I was learning my second language, and it was the single most effective thing I did to reach fluency.
Tell them exactly how it works, Ben. Give them the play-by-play.
Okay, tomorrow morning when you wake up, the goal is to have 0 seconds of your native language in your head. Do not say anything out loud yet. Just label the first 3 things you touch with an action block in your mind. When you hit your alarm, you think, hitting the snooze button. When you pull back the covers, you think, getting out of bed. When you walk to the sink, you think, splashing cold water on my face.
I love that. You are essentially narrating your life internally like a movie character. This is how you bridge the gap between being a person who studies English and being a person who is an English speaker. You are making the language part of your muscle memory. It becomes as automatic as walking or breathing.
It is all about the connection. In school, we are taught that English is a subject like history or math. You go to a room and you sit at a desk and you do English. But English is not a subject, it is a tool. The labeling method treats English like a hammer or a screwdriver. You use it while you are actually doing things. You do not study a hammer, you use it to hit a nail.
That is a perfect analogy. Let's give them a massive list of these action labels so they can start building their own today. Let's walk through the house. What about the front door?
Instead of door, try heading out or locking up. Those are phrases you will use every single day of your life.
And the sofa in the living room?
Instead of sofa, try taking a break, or sitting down, or even putting my feet up.
Oh, I like putting my feet up. That is a great idiom. See how these are all phrases you would actually use in a conversation? You are practicing the most useful parts of the language while you are actually performing the movements. It makes the connection in your brain 10 times stronger than any textbook could.
Let's keep going. What about the closet? Instead of closet, try picking out a shirt or getting dressed. Think about the laundry. Instead of laundry, try folding the clothes or putting things away.
And the computer? Instead of computer or laptop, try checking my emails or typing a message. These are the building blocks of a real life. If you can talk about your daily chores without thinking, you will be shocked at how much easier it is to talk about complex things later on.
Exactly. If you have to struggle to find the words for making coffee, you are never going to have the mental energy to talk about politics or business. You have to automate the small things first. This is the foundation of the blueprint.
I remember when I was learning my second language, I struggled so much with the word for keys. I would always forget it. Finally, I put a small label on the bowl where I keep my keys that said, "Grabbing my keys." I saw it every morning for a week. I never forgot the word again. Not because I studied it, but because I saw it at the exact moment I was actually grabbing them.
That is the power of the sensory anchor. You are tying the sound to the physical sensation of the cold metal keys in your hand. That is a permanent connection. You could not forget it if you tried.
You guys are doing an amazing job following along with this series. But we have to be honest with you. The blueprint only works if you actually build it. You cannot just listen to Ben and I talk and expect to wake up fluent tomorrow morning. You have to take the information and put it into your world.
You really do. Knowledge without action is just trivia. We do not want you to know trivia about English. We want you to speak it. So, here is your mission for this episode. I want you to look around you right now, wherever you are. Are you in a car? Are you in an office? Are you at home? Pick 3 objects in your immediate surroundings. In the comments section below, tell us the action block you are going to give those 3 objects.
And remember the golden rule of Module 1. No nouns. If you write table or chair or phone in the comments, we are going to know you were not listening. Give us the action. Tell us what you do with that object. Use at least 3 words for each block.
You know, Anna, thinking about the labeling method reminds me of that time I tried to learn how to cook by reading a book without actually being in the kitchen. I knew all the terms like sauté and julienne, but the moment I stood in front of a stove, I panicked. I could not connect the words to the heat and the pans.
That is exactly what happens with language. You can know the dictionary definition of a phrasal verb like pick up or set down, but until you are actually picking up your keys or setting down your bag while saying the words, it is just abstract information. It has no weight in your life.
Exactly. And that is why I love the idea of the house being a lab. You do not need to go to a classroom. Your kitchen is a classroom. Your bedroom is a classroom. Even your shower is a classroom. Think about the blocks you can practice while you are showering, washing my hair, rinsing off, turning the water up.
It is true. There is no part of your life that cannot be blueprinted. And the more you do it, the more you realize that English is not this scary foreign thing. It is just another way to describe the things you already do every single day. It makes the language feel friendly.
Friendly. I like that. We want English to feel like an old friend, not a demanding boss. We want it to be something that supports you and helps you express yourself without making you work too hard.
And that is the goal of this entire 50-episode journey. We are going to be with you every step of the way, from these first basic foundation blocks to the most complex professional and social situations in the later modules.
So do not get discouraged if it feels slow at first. Every label you place and every mental sentence you form is a brick in your castle. Eventually, you will look back and realize you have built something magnificent.
We really believe in you guys. The fact that you are here listening to episode 3 means you have the discipline to go all the way. Most people quit after the first 10 minutes of anything new. You are still here. That means you have the blueprint mindset.
It really does. So one last time for the people in the back, pick your 3 objects and create your action blocks and put them in the comments. Let us see what you've got.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Anna. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like and subscribe. Feel free to leave comments about the Chatcast. We love hearing from you.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep listening, and remember, learning English with us is
A piece of cake. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time on the English Chatcast.